these fellows here are sitting around playing cards. So that's why we think kind of it's like a promotion for the hotel. And we think that this one here is Grandpa Alistair, because he boarded at the Travelers Hotel before he married Grandma Alistair. This is the Ladysmith Hotel. Yeah. And because Auntie Dee was born in 1900, and she looks like she's about 2 or 3, I'm thinking this is about 1903, 1902, which would be in keeping with when they actually moved it across the street, I think.
Yeah, right. Those photos on the wall.
Those are all family members. Mm-hmm. I think that when you had a photo in those days, it was very prestigious because not everyone could afford them. So even though they didn't have a lot of money, I don't think they had a lot of photos. Like Grandma she liked to save and resave, and I think in those days paper was at a premium. Like they went through the Depression and she went through the wars and all those things. So you can tell when you look in the journal that she's written something, but then she's glued newspaper clippings on top, and then she has a little poem, and it's just whatever kind of suited her fancy she would just put in there.
There's a lot in there, like concerts that we're attending.
Yeah.
You've also brought in music.
Sheet music that Grandpa Alistair would play in his band.
Yes. It
would have been quite a time. I know that Grandma Alistair and Grandpa Alistair, when they were dating, one of the things that was popular in the day would be to take a rowboat and row over to those little islands across from
Shell Beach and that there.
Yeah, so that was like a big thing. Even my grandmother, she took up with the orchestra, the violinist, right? That would be like taken up with the long-haired guitar guy that moved into town now. She played the piano. She's in some of those programs that are in that journal. You can see where she played the piano, but mostly I think she was in the choir. Grandpa Alistair would have been one of the choir masters, and he had his bands. And I mean, in those days, that's what they did. They had bands, and everybody went dancing and did all the things. Okay, so in this picture, this guy here we think was Grandpa Alistair, and he came to town. He was an electrician, so he came to Ladysmith, and he wired the Chemainus mill, and then he had to go to Vernon, and that's what he did. So he was traveling around. But when he did that, he was also a musician. So he came from England. He played the violin, and he also was, like I say, the choir master. So he died the year I was born. So I was born in 1954, and he died shortly after. I don't think it was from the shock of me being born.
I was going to say that.
Anyways, he passed on. And Mom and Dad bought the original family home, which is just down the road. So when they did that, I don't know why the violin got put up in the attic, but it was in the crawl space right on the other side of my bedroom. And so, of course, when you're kids, you're always getting in where you shouldn't get. And so this violin was always part of my entertainment. If my brothers were being bad and they didn't want to play with me, I would sometimes sneak into the attic and check things out. And this was one of the things I loved. So this is Grandpa Alistair's violin. And here, there's a couple of bows in here. We got Joanna to take lessons for a while, but I don't think violin didn't carry down through our genes. So anyways, it has this is a new bow. This is the old bow, but this one's got the hairs on it, whatever they call it. Obviously, I'm not so this is just kind of fun. So this is Grandpa Alistair's old silk hanky. I just love this. Whoops. There we are. So he always had it wrapped in here. I took it to Mr. Mills, who was a gentleman who lived in Saltaire at the time, and he built violins. And he took this whole violin all apart and added little bits of wood and I can't even imagine the hours it took him. Anyways, he would be really sad if he saw that.
It's not a Stradivarius.
No. But it is Grandpa Alistair's violin, so that's just kind of fun.
That's really cool.
And I can't play it because it should be all, tuned up.
We had an old violin given to us, and inside...
There is a date
Yeah.
Yeah, and because Mr. Mills, when he redid it, he had it all apart, so he actually signed it and put in the year that he refurbished it.
So what's the date of the beginning? Do you remember?
It was in the 1800s. He was playing at dances and at halls, and it wasn't like, you know, a fine piece of musical instrument. It probably was. It was a utility violin, I'm sure. It wasn't for like sitting with the symphony. And so anyway, so that's the story about the violin. And Grandpa Alistair would have been pretty. He was a popular choir master. Mum remembers. Oh, thanks. You got it figured out. Taking choir lessons from him in different churches or whatever it was. That goes there. I just don't know what this is. It's always fun to well, this is all the wax and the... Oh, here we go. Here's a list of the songs we're going to play. First page of Highland Wreath. And then My Love is But a Lassie. My Love is But a Lassie. And the Bluebells of Scotland.
I think he's a wee bit Scotch.
Well, he was English, but I guess maybe he was playing it some kind of a Scottish thing. Anyways, I'm sure that's Grandpa Alistair's handwriting. And then we go like this. Stuff. This is 100-year-old wax. There we go. The best rosin. That's what they used to put.
Rosin. It wasn't wax.
That's what they used to put on the. There. Look at that.
Oh.
That's kind of.
Beeswax.
Yeah. This is all hardened, but I think they put that on the string or on the bow, on the strings, on the bow, on the horsehair, so that it wouldn't. You know what? I don't know where they put that.
Rosin's for the horse.
They put it somewhere. Anyways. What's in this one? Oh, that's just the empty box. But it's old. Here we go. So that's the story of the violin. Get all these hairs tucked in here. And every once in a while I take it out and show it to people and they all go ooh ah. And so someday maybe one of the family will play it. Not my immediate family, but maybe one of my grandchildren.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
So that would be a whole bunch of generations.